Hello and welcome to Advent Poles number 8. These exercises use the same 4 poles as exercise 7, however they are approached on more curved lines rather than the lateral movement. So a nice simple exercise to begin is a 3-loop serpentine using the 2 poles, crossing them not quite as you cross the centre line because the poles are just off centre, but as you change rein and cross the middle of the school, you'll be crossing the pole at some point. Although I'm carrying it out in trot here, it can obviously be used in walk as part of your warm-up. The next exercise crosses the first pole as part of a circle and then goes larger around the school so that you travel just past the centre line and then pick up the exercise from yesterday, so you're crossing both poles slightly laterally on the diagonal. Remember, if you're using this exercise, you need to change the position of the poles so that you're approaching them from the other diagonal, either later on in the same session or in the following session, so that you get to practice on both reins equally. The next exercise picks up canter, so that you're carrying out a circling canter to cross the first pole. Then the second circle of canter is a bit bigger and passes through the middle between each of the 2 poles, so you're not crossing a pole this time. And then the third loop of canter comes round to cross the pole furthest away, so that you've got a bigger circle. And then you can choose one of the poles again to cross to change the rein. So same again on this rein. Smaller circle over the first pole. Slightly bigger circle to cross the middle of the 2 poles. And then a larger circle to cross the pole that's furthest away. And then choosing one of the poles to change the rein. The next exercise picks up a figure of 8, crossing the school on the 2 short diagonals, so that each time you cross the school on the diagonal, you're crossing one of the sets of poles. And then I develop that slightly so that you cross the first set of poles on the short diagonal, but then you made a little loop to cross the second set. Then come round again to cross the first set on the short diagonal, and then picking up the little loop to cross the second set. And then at the end of the session, I used the poles on a serpentine again, but this time encouraged Elsa to have a little bit of a stretch using a looser rein as I cross the poles. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you'll be able to see on the video that having the pole there just encouraged her to stretch down that little bit more, because she had a little look at it there, she did, as she crossed it. So that helped me to get her to just have a little bit of a stretch at the end of the session. So that was Advent Poles number 8. Hope you enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.